What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Room.
Welcome to Couch in the Room, our Saturday show. That's right, our Saturday show presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. The Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app has 155 Super Bowl game specials, another 178 player prop specials. We are going to get into some of those as we pick our Super Bowl props with Harry Gagnon in a little bit today. And, of course, we're going to talk a lot of MSU Michigan basketball, and Michigan covered the spread in that one. Our Saturday show also presented by our friends at Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask & Company Kitchen and Bar. Just had lunch there yesterday, an awesome lunch with some very important people. Had the Big Island Bowl and was able to recommend the Pad Thai, which the person I recommended it to was very excited about. Jason, welcome back. How you doing, brother?
And we said, would somebody please guard somebody?
I'm not talking about Michigan. Back to the white elephant in the room. They don't want to deal with the white elephant in the room. It'll be a cold day in hell before I give up on Cohen Carr.
Let's go green. Go God.
What are we doing here? What's up, man? You serious? Thought we were only doing this show if Michigan State won. What are we doing here on a Saturday? There's a lot to talk about. What do you mean?
There's a lot to talk about.
There is about that game yesterday?
Yeah. There's a lot to get into.
The game stunk.
It was, there were moments. The second half for Michigan State was
a nice comeback.
Promising. Yeah, it was really important. But, yeah, it was not.
Should we do the positives and get those out of the way? Or like?
Well, yeah, we can break it down however we want to.
And we're still doing a show Monday, right?
We are doing a show Monday for people.
Audience interaction.
We are going to do our usual hot take show Monday with listener hot takes, and we'll have some more from us and all that.
So we
stuff.
thought we were that important, or we had to come in on a Saturday to discuss this.
Well, some of this is because
January.
The Big Ten has gotten real disrespectful with their schedule. I mean, just frankly. I mean, you used to
is
be
this
able to,
personal, or are you actually thinking for other people?
This is for everybody. But, Friday and Monday used to be like you can't do a Friday show when the game's a few hours away. There's not enough time. I mean, it could be, it's a limited amount of time for people to consume that.
Sure.
And so Fridays and Mondays, the Big Ten needs to bugger off and let us do our thing. But whatever.
Well, it was my fault going to Florida there. My in-laws forced me to go to Florida.
That's true.
Would you go to Florida if you had to wear a wig the whole time?
So I saw this picture of you. Did you wear it the whole time?
Yeah, we wore it her whole birthday. Like by the way, I'm not complaining. I was down because I like doing stuff like that. But it was pretty wild going into a restaurant.
So hold on,
looked at. Yeah.
Give me the circumstances. How did this come to be? And this is Teresa's birthday, right?
No, it was her sister Ann's birthday.
Her sister Ann's birthday. Okay.
Yeah, and she takes her birthday very seriously. Happy 47th, Ann, by the way. No, it's just we arrived in Florida there, and they were trying to come up with some ideas, and of course they order Amazon all the time. So why not order Amazon while they're in Florida? Really fucking piss people off. But so everybody wanted to wear wigs, and I'm like, all right, I'm down. But I let them pick my wig for me, and they ended up picking some I don't know what the wig was, with my gigantic head already, and then I had some 80s rocker hair. And I'm like, whatever. But I got white trash tattoos too. So I had my tattoos. It was just everywhere we went, they looked at me directly. I was a walking Amber Alert. They're like, who's this guy? Everybody else kind of blended in. The women, they had their wigs, so they looked kind of natural. T's dad had a Willie Nelson kind of wig, and with his gray hair, it kind of looked good, even though he despised it more than any of us, I think. He actually refused. We went out to this crab restaurant, and he refused to wear it in there. Because he's 77 years old, and he's still worried about what people think of him. But anyway.
I thought about calling the authorities when I saw the picture of you online. I just thought enough. That guy does not look like he should be in public. So, yeah, I know what you're
yeah, with a bib on. Yeah, it was no, but it was nice to get out of here. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, you picked the coldest week of the year. I mean, that's
understand. Well, I didn't pick it. By the way, I did not pick this. I just was told where to go, where to be, and I'm just saying it's an in-laws thing. By the way, 5-year-old kids. Has parenting changed since we were younger? Why do we have to cater to young kids? We always have to entertain the 5-year-old. Is that true still? Does that happen to everybody? Because I love kids. I love Nico, my nephew Nico. We love that kid. I love that kid. He's a great kid. He was doing one-arm push-ups the one night. I was laughing my ass off. But the rest of the time, you have to sit there and cater to this 5-year-old. And I'm just like, what the hell? This isn't vacation. It's not my kid.
Well, and generally, I think that's you always had to do stuff. If you have kids, you've had to do vacations differently.
But your parents just sat you down and
right.
Entertain your fucking self for a minute. Like, why do we have to entertain you? And it's with my nephew Desmond as well. It's like when he's around, he's like, he'll come over to the house and we have to have certain, like, all 3 stations so we can go from station to station to just keep his brain occupied. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, no.
Kids are a pain in the... I'm so glad I did not have a child.
They don't have
that I know of.
They don't have the imaginations. Yeah, you might, but they don't have the imaginations they used to
have. But I didn't have to
sure.
take care of the child. I signed off on it so that someone else took care of that 5-year-old problem.
Well, the greatest example of this is like the decline of co-ed or men's softball in this country is an adult sport, right? The decline of it, if you talk to people why it's declined and why adult recreational things have declined, it's because it used to be when we were growing up in the 80s, right? You went, Dad might play in a softball league. And
my dad played 3 days a
Correct.
week. I lived off the change in his softball bag. I would go in his softball bag at Sharp Park, and I would grab like $1 worth of shit, and I'd get a bunch of, and you go off into this maze, and there might be a 100%. Pedophile back there. Who knows? Like, you had to survive by yourself. There wasn't 15 people watching my every step. I cherish those times. That was fucking great back then. And take me back there.
You turned out almost fine.
No, I turned out terrible. I mean, I am good now. I'm a lot better than what I was, but I'm just saying, I don't know if having to go to softball games was the problem.
Well, so the way it used to be is you went to, you went to Dad's softball game, the whole family went or whatever. You went off and played on the playground, and Dad played the game, and that used to be the way it went. And the family wasn't geared toward the kid. And I'm not saying things are right or wrong; they're just different. Now you got like 6 days a week you're going to your kids thing, and there's no time for the parent to play in that
travel sports. Get out of here.
Yeah,
get out of here. And the daycare, get the fuck out.
And most of these
my
kids,
friends tell me, Michigan fan Jordan and his wife Sam tell me about their, what they pay. It's just insanity.
Well, and most of these kids suck at sports and shouldn't be doing travel sports anyway. Like we used to have all these kids on the street. We ran outside and we learned our leadership skills. We learned how to play sports at a high level. We learned how to compete, how to fight. All that stuff happened right in the front yard on the front street. Yeah. This is the way it used to be. It was better. It was better. And if you're not athletic, chances are your kid's not going to be athletic. You put them in travel ball. There's a ceiling they get to anyway, and then you're disappointed. They're disappointed. Everybody quits anyway, and you spend a lot of money. I'm not saying
what we're trying to say is don't have kids.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway, it was a fun trip. It was great to get out of here and great to come back to this BS. So anyway.
Well, let's talk.
But what are we doing here on a Saturday again? All right, we're talking about this game.
This game. And we're gonna have Harry on.
This is gonna be the same thing. End of January, overreaction. Izzo doesn't know what he's doing. He's past his prime. Maybe he should retire. Then he's gonna make us look like an ass in a month and a half. I hate this whole bit. We do this as a Michigan State basketball fan all the time. Sky is falling. I'm not doing it. I'm not falling in the trap today.
I don't think people should. I think there are a couple things to take away from this game. One, we have seen this sort of late January, early February little dip, swoon, whatever it is before. And we've also seen, we've seen Izzo then be forced to react to it in certain ways and find some answers. And I think one of the answers is clearly, and I wrote about this in a follow column that went up today, is Jordan Scott. It really is. I mean, you saw the second, and now he's not the only reason that the game changed at halftime. Carson Cooper was in huge foul trouble in the first half. Michigan State came out and they played into all the emotional bullshit. I'm not saying the crowd hurts MSU because the crowd was amazing in a lot of ways, but there is an emotion to those games that is not the usual game, and it affects everything. And usually the best, most mature MSU teams can use that to their advantage and not get caught up into it. I thought they got caught up into the first half, and Michigan's really good. Michigan is better than Auburn in terms of length and problems last year, the team they faced in the Elite Eight. So, like all year,
and defensively, they're crazy good.
Right. Like all year, I've been saying I think this Michigan State team is more equipped to compete with the top of college basketball, that this team would beat that Auburn team 5 out of 10 times instead of last year probably 2 out of 10 times. And I still believe that. I don't think there's anything different. The problem is this year the bar is this Michigan team, maybe Arizona, which I think is another level. And we've seen that Michigan State is going to have to do some things to compete at that level because it's not automatic for them. They have some disadvantages. They do have some advantages though, and they're a better team than last year. There's no question. They have better big guys than last year, right? They have, even though they're the same big guys, they have a much better point guard than last year, even though it's the same point guard. And I think they have better length on the perimeter, but big part of that is a guy like Jordan Scott who amplifies what everybody else around him. He's not the same player as a Jace Richardson. If they had Jace Richardson, they'd be in a better spot, obviously. But he does amplify other guys around him. That's why his plus-minus so often is really good. It's not because he's great with the reserves. It's because when he comes in with the starters, I mean, there are a lot of times his plus-minus is quite a bit better than the starters in the same amount of minutes. It's because when he comes in that role, he makes those guys around him better. And so Izzo said on Friday night that he had been waiting to do some things, but they had been winning, and it's hard. And look, maybe part of life is making tough decisions even when you're winning, but it is easier now. It was clear and evident yesterday the difference he makes. And so now, and I think he's critical to their ceiling because he plays the position, first of all, that was a question mark coming into this year. He plays that shooting guard spot that has been, has been a doubt, and they've had good moments here and there. But you do see, you just see the difference with him. And, it's the one last sort of chess move they've got to make. And, it gives them a shot to be a different team. I mean, they in the second half, against both Duke and Michigan, when they had bad starts in the second half, they took leads, and they did so largely with him on the floor. And he's not the only thing. He's not the only reason. He's a big part of it. So that gives you some hope in that sort of thing. The narrative that I'm seeing from some folks, and this is driven by Michigan, but it's also some Michigan State people. But there is this idea that this was some sort of determining, idea of how you roster construct. Michigan's approach versus Michigan State's, and Michigan State's doesn't work, and that's just bullshit. It's just too. First of all, it's too small a sample size. Number one. Number two, what the two programs are doing in their own ways is too rare to even look at that. Kentucky is trying to do what Michigan's doing and failing epically. It is really hard to do. What Dusty May has done is very much like a Manchester City in Premier League soccer, right? They are recruiting. They're doing so with a massive budget at Michigan, but they picked the right pieces and the pieces that work, and that's hard to do, and they've recruited those guys to play for them. And if other places haven't gotten it right, it's really hard to sustain. It's hard to have culture. It's hard to have the right guys and the right guys available year to year. And then what Michigan State has done is only able to happen, and largely because it's Izzo. And Izzo is able to keep guys there and sustain culture, and theirs is to develop and retain guys. And their roster isn't cheap either. But the thing, this idea that Michigan State this doesn't work. Like if Jace Richardson stays, which wasn't that far fetched. This whole thing is like they may be the favorites in the country. So you're that away from this entirely working at a level that you could barely imagine, right? They've got a good roster coming in next year.
I think it hurts more when you say it that way, though.
100%. You got to get lucky. You have to get lucky for this stuff to work. Michigan got lucky this year that they were able to convince some of the guys they got to come in. Now they're doing so with big budgets, and you can argue that Izzo ought to. The Izzo's weakness is, to me, Izzo's weakness with the transfer portal is not an unwillingness to use it. Look at his roster; it's full of transfers. He's got a lot of transfers now.
The urinal or portal,
and it's obviously if Caleb Glenn had been healthy, that might have made a difference. But it's also he like at the center position a couple years ago, before it would have been seen as recruiting over Carson Cooper and Jackson Kohler, before you would have necessarily lost them. There was a chance to get a big man, and they didn't do it. This past year. You need a shooting guard, and again, it's not easy to find the right guy who fits but that would have been the move, right? To go get somebody of another level than a Trey Fort necessarily, and they didn't do that. And so that you can push back on that, but the idea that what Izzo is doing doesn't work. I mean, the man is what is he? 19-3, 9-2 in the Big Ten with wins over Arkansas, Kentucky, Iowa. I'm leaving out teams. North Carolina, you know what I mean? Like they've had a great start to Big Ten play, and now they run into a team who might be the best team in the country and has done it differently and has done it with rare success for that approach. I mean, ask Kentucky this year, ask Illinois last year. This shit that Michigan's doing usually doesn't work. It doesn't usually work. Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be trying to do the best you can to marry two ideas and to get the best roster you can. And I'm not.
So what makes it work? It's Dusty May that makes it work, right?
Their roster identification and their ability to have the funds to do. I mean, where they took players from are places that pay players well. They took Mara from the big man, 7'3" big man from UCLA. They took Morez Johnson from Illinois. And now part of the reason you get a Morez Johnson though is because Morez is at Illinois, and Illinois is kind of a dysfunctional, non-fun season when he's a freshman because they tried to do what Michigan's doing now, and it didn't work, right? So it's kind of like, I don't know if this is the experience I want. And then Michigan comes through with a pretty good offer too. So there are a lot of different ways to look at it. It's being done too simplistically. And the other thing that I would say is that like Michigan was better last night. They've got some real problems for every team, for Michigan State included, but we've also seen them be vulnerable. We saw them almost lose to a Nebraska team that was missing 2 starters, including an all Big Ten caliber starting center and ranked Mast. We saw them struggle the same way with Penn State as Michigan State did. They cannot show up on a given day, but when their best is better than Michigan State's best right now, and so Michigan State has to figure out how do they elevate their best. And I think a lot of that begins with you've got to have your best lineup on as much as possible. And I've been a big person of pushing back on the idea of starting lineups matter. I don't generally think they do, but when you start slow, and they did against Rutgers, and that hurt them, and then against Duke they started slow. So against the top teams they have, and then Michigan they did, and it put you in a hole. You have to do everything you can. Now it's some of that's on the way the starters played, obviously. But you have to do everything you can to create the best lineup you can out of the gate in these situations. And Jordan Scott, it's clear at this point, is that guy. So that's the move you make. That's the move they're making. It's and it sounds like.
So what about the other guys if that is the move with Jordan Scott, like Divine Ugachukwu,
still
Cam Ward? I mean, we're not even going to bring up Trey Ford, are we?
Well, no, Trey Ford's kind of out of things, but I mean he plays a little, but he's not really
or Kurt Tang.
Well, Kurt Tang's important. So Kurt Tang and Divine Ugachukwu are just as important. When I talk about the idea that I often don't think starting matters as much, these guys aren't starting now. Kurt Tang wasn't before, but they're still playing vital roles. I don't think Jordan Scott's going to play more than 28 minutes a game. He played 17 in the second half, and maybe in certain games when they really need. But he's still going to play a lot of his minutes as he has been at the 3 behind Cohen Carr, whose minutes have actually gone down in a lot of games. So there's going to be plenty of minutes for Divine Ugachukwu as a backup point guard, as a 2-guard playing with Jeremy Fears. He's shown a knack for hitting big shots. There will be matchups where that really works. The thing Kurt Tang has to do is he's got to be a shot maker. He's got to be a spark off the bench, and he wasn't that last night. And so that's got to happen. Now Michigan took them out of some things, and Carson Cooper getting in foul trouble hurt, and Jackson Kohler hasn't really been himself the last few games,
well, Cooper had 3 personal fouls for the whole game. I understand it was the first half, but man, Coop.
Well, they need him because a big part of their offense is those rolling alley-oop dunks, and that gets them going and helps open other things up, and so they need that, and they need Fears to be steadying early. The Fears gets still a little bit. One of the last things Fears really has to work on is a competitor. And I'm not talking about his game. His game's evolving, and we're seeing it get a lot better, and he's just put up 31 points on the heels of 29 points. Like he's fine there. But what he's got to do as a competitor and as sort of an emotional competitor is sometimes what you got to be is smart and steady out of the gate. And he was emotional and into it. Like he was in a place that didn't help the team at the very beginning of that game. And that's not what.
But that's who he is. I mean, yeah, you needed to kind of temper it a little bit.
But he's got to work on that because his nature is to fight, is to buy into the emotion. Yeah. And there's just a lot of emotional bullshit that goes on in the crowd at a Michigan State game, and you got to sort of use that to your benefit and not use the other stuff, right? You got to not get caught up. The crowd in a Michigan State game, it's funny to listen to the crowd. You could make 47 consecutive correct calls as an official. All 47
That's impossible for those guys.
Yeah, but if they did, they would all be complete bullshit in the eyes of the crowd there. Like, that's the way a Michigan State game works. It is not, there's no reasonable, nobody's reasonable in the crowd, right? It's just not. It's not a reasonable audience. Yeah. It's not, and that's fine.
That's the fun part of it.
100%.
Yeah.
But if you are a player on the floor, if you are the point guard, you can't get caught up in that out of the gate.
There were some bad calls.
There were. I'm not saying there weren't. I'm not saying there wasn't some reason for people to be unreasonable, and they were being reasonable in their unreasonability. But that doesn't make any sense. But you know what I'm saying? It was
like that Shedder 3. It's like he leaned into Fears like all the way over. Like, what are we doing here? But anyway, you know. And by the way, Fears, I know we've said it before. I have never seen a player. I know this might be recency bias, but tell me another player that baits and gets the refs to call a foul. He baits the defender so well, or he knows where the guy is going to go next and leans into that and gets the foul call every time from the refs. It's amazing to watch.
He's very herky-jerky. He knows what's coming. He pauses in weird spots. He's awkward to defend, and for a while.
But he knows like almost where you're going to go as a defender before you do, kind of. And he just leans into that.
And that was their only offense for a while, and that was a big part of the problem. But I didn't leave that game so at halftime. The quick takes I had written at halftime were like, this is trouble. Like, this is big trouble. Because for the first time since that Auburn game, and you can say the UConn exhibition, but that's different. It's an exhibition or whatever. But for the first time, really, they were outclassed. It looked like they didn't belong on the same court. This team was just better, and that's the problem. Like, because of this Michigan State team, last year's team won the Big Ten title by 3 games. This team's not going to do that. Last year's team got to the Elite Eight. Like, last year's team was sort of the reclamation of the program that had been sort of at a middling level for a couple of years. What this year's team has to do something special and memorable is do something last year's team didn't, and that means competing and beating the top teams. And they had a great start in a lot of ways. They're competitive with Duke. They're competitive with Michigan. But they're, when they get to the NCAA tournament, that means making noise and doing things in the second weekend in terms of who you are. And so they've got some time, but by the time they get to March, they've got to be a version of themselves that wins 5 out of 10 against those type of teams. And I'm not saying they can't get there, because I think the second half showed they can. It doesn't mean like pound for pound they've got every advantage Michigan does. But Michigan's got some ebbs and flows to them too. And they took Mara out of the game, they figured that out, right? They in the second half. They did. Some of Michigan's shooters aren't always going to be on point, and I think Michigan State can play with them. I'm very curious now to see Illinois next weekend at Breslin, because that's a really, really good Illinois team that's got some size, a little different roster, but they're another second weekend NCAA tournament team that's got Final Four ceiling potential. And then you look at and what's a really good top-heavy Big Ten, much better than last year's Illinois team. And, and obviously Purdue at Mackey will be tricky, but the Michigan in the return game, in a harder place to win, what that will feel like and look like at the end of the season. And, whether that has any bearing on the Big Ten standings and whether MSU is able to win enough to stay in that, we'll see. I think that game will be more important to see where they've grown from this point to that point. And they may still lose it close because you're on the road and it's tough to win there, but we ought to be able to see that growth. And we ought to be able to see how they handle certain situations. And
so Jordan Scott's going to be the guy.
He can be the starter, yeah,
right.
And then
that's where we're headed towards now.
It's happening. Yeah, Izzo already said it. It's what's going to happen at Minnesota on Wednesday night. And it's a week before it happened with Jace Richardson. And obviously Jace Richardson, different player, different need. He had showed himself to be incredibly efficient to that point, but hadn't been yet featured. And so now you get a guy who's has been incredibly efficient in a lot of other ways, defensively, on the glass, just really intelligent instincts. The way he gets back and gets in passing lanes and goes after loose balls and other things and makes the right pass and play. And we saw a couple things offensively. I think that's the other thing they got to really, now that he's starting, he's probably going to see more than 25 minutes most nights. Help him grow into offense, because what he did on those drives, and if he can get the shot going a little more like that, would be really, really, really helpful for this team. But like I said, I still think Kurt Tang's an important component. They need him to shoot the ball well. They need shooters. I mean, last night they go 4 for 23 for 3. As poorly as they played, it's as simple as they go 8 for 23, they probably win the game, or at least are right in the final minute.
I mean, looking at the shooting numbers, how did they make a comeback in the second half?
Yeah, well, it's
unbelievable.
They played defense, and they got after it, and they ran, and Cohen Carr played with purpose again. That's the Cohen Carr. He is such a difference maker, an X factor for them. You saw it right away in the second half. He had that play in the lane where goes up on 2 feet and scores over. Like when he is just determined offensively, and his shot's going to come and go. And so he knows that, and it was gone yesterday after it had been there for 7 of the last 11 threes. Some of that's probably because you're more juiced up in a game like that, right? People are going to continue to leave. Nobody is scared of Cohen Carr's three-pointer. I guarantee you every coach the rest of the way, even if he becomes a 40% three-point shooter, is thinking if that guy beats us with 3, then tip your cap. Like nobody is worried about it. And he's just going to have to deal with that. But it's how he plays with purpose around that that's important.
So you give him 3 shots. I mean, obviously, if they leave you open, you got to take a good open look.
Or you got
it's 0 for 3. We're going like, all right, Cohen, why don't we,
Or you drive to a place where it's open. He's better. He's you're not gonna. You drive to like that elbow.
You dunk from the free throw line.
Right.
Take it to the rack
or attack.
Oh my God!
Yes.
I would just constantly take it to the rack. Just dunk on fools.
If you're in rhythm and confident, don't hesitate. Let the 3 go. If the ball hits you in your shooting
dunk.
pocket, well, fuck. What's the highest room you've ever dunked on?
10 feet.
You really
my
dunked
20s.
on 10 feet?
I did. I have
I
dunked
don't
on
believe
it.
you.
I swear to God, I have a picture of it. I think.
I want to see this picture.
It wasn't like a sweet like dunk or like NBA level dunk, but I got it up.
You got up
20s,
over the rim.
In my 20s, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. With a basketball.
The real like,
Regulation.
full-size basketball.
Yes.
You dunked.
And a small basketball, yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know you were that kind of athlete.
Really? I mean, it was in a driveway. It was
10 feet.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to go back and, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was 9. It was close, I would think. It was in a driveway, so I don't know if it's
Is this
regulation.
rim still there somewhere that we can go measure?
In DeWitt. This was 2006.
Sounds like a road trip. I
Can't
want to
dunk anymore.
I know, but I want to measure this rim. We're going to get up there. It's going to be like, oh, this is 7'6".
I'm sorry, I didn't know. Say that it wasn't like I was playing in a game of any sort when I dunked. It was just to see, trying if I could dunk.
Man, okay,
but yeah,
all right. Well,
played some ball in my day. I wasn't terrible, but
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Really? I mean, like I said, it was a run up kind of white men can't jump kind of thing.
Yeah,
and I got one to go down. I do have a picture of it somewhere.
So,
but it's not like you see me at the rim just going up there.
I
did not know that would shock you so much. My bad. I'm sorry.
I've never been. On. Well,
you have like 4-inch arms.
Well, that's the problem. I have I have a disability.
Pterodactyl. I have a disability. Make it so serious.
Well, it's genetic.
Spina bifida. Severe case of that. I wish I could dunk.
We will dig into some more takes on this game and your takes on this game on Monday. Not now. But for now, we are.
So nobody's thinking the sky is falling.
Well, I think some people are.
Really? Because I mean, I felt the same way in the first half, but that comeback
was important.
It was because I know they still
Yep.
lost by 12 or whatever, but it did give me some hope because, like you said, it felt hopeless at times in that first half, and to have that comeback, I still don't know how they did it by looking at these numbers, but I just want someone to step up. If it's Jordan Scott, cool.
Yeah,
but somebody, Trey Ford, I guess he's done. You said he's done.
Well, I don't think he's done. It's clear he's not a mainstay. It's not that he won't have a game or two where he shows up and has a surprising moment. Like
he would transfer right now if he could. He'd get out of here. Cam Ward too, man, that bums me out. I think he could step up too.
I think there still could be moments for him, but yeah, it's clear that. I mean, it sucks for him that he lost a lot of the season to that wrist injury because I think we saw early what he could be. And
what about Jackson Kohler? Is Izzo going to keep playing him? I know that he mentioned in his post game last night that he's got to stop playing him so many minutes, right? Is Jax still working through his sickness, and then Izzo's grinding him like that? His shooting yesterday.
I think Kohler will be fine. I really do.
Well, of course. I mean, he's a Kohler. I know he's going to come through, but I mean,
I think Kohler will be fine.
All right.
Let's take a really quick break. When we come back, we'll have Harry Gagnon on. We'll do some Super Bowl props, some picks, some best bets, all that good stuff. Our Saturday show presented by our friends.
What are we doing here?
At Firekeepers and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. As well as Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask and Company Kitchen and Bar, where, again, I just had lunch with some very important people.
That's it?
That's it.
Where else can you cheer on your team, enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi, sip on handcrafted cocktails, or one of 46 beers on tap? Take your game day or date night to Cask and Company Kitchen Bar or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. 2 amazing places with 1 awesome blended modern American Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Ever wonder how comfortable you can be and how good you can look? Put on a Muskox flannel and find out. Muskox has new arrivals for this fall, including the Caper Green Grand Flannel, which even makes couch look good. Muskox is a Detroit-based flannel company that creates soft and durable flannels made to last a lifetime. They become a great partner with Couch in the Rube, not just because they make us look good and feel good, but because they're good people too, and a socially conscious company. For every $100 purchase, $10 is donated to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation. Muskox flannels are designed with 100% cotton that is ethically sourced and double brushed for softness. Feel the quality and comfort of a Muskox flannel by ordering at gomuskox.com, where Couch in the Rube listeners can enjoy $15 off their flannel purchase with the promo code HOFF. Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com.
Couch in the Rube, our Saturday show, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and the Firekeepers Casino and Sportsbook app, as well as Front 43 Neighborhood Pub and Cask and Company Kitchen and Bar. It is time to pick some games, pick some Super Bowl prop bets, and talk some betting with our good friend Harry Gagnon from BigAl.com. Harry, how you doing, brother?
What's up, guys? It's been a while. How's everything?
Yeah, it's good.
Jared Goff. Fuck, I wish Jared Goff
Never
was
gets
playing
old.
this.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Really doesn't.
I gotta say, you guys are doing a great job with Still Against All Odds, the podcast. I've enjoyed the recent episode. I think you guys have stepped it up.
What's up with Solomon going to India? What the fuck? These fantasy football things are getting out of control.
Don't know what I actually don't even know what he's covering, but he's sending pictures every day. It's pretty funny. He wants me to. I guess there's a big. I mean, if anyone would know this, it would be Graham, Jay. That next week, Graham, on Saturday the 7th, supposed to be some huge cricket match between the United States and India. Have you seen something of any of this?
I didn't. I've been to a cricket match once in 1988. Really? It was the longest day of my life. I still remember the like you could play in the match and then come sit in the stands for a while. I didn't really understand it. And there was this guy who played and then took his shirt off in front of me when I was 8. Huh? And he was sitting in front of me, and he had like the largest back I've ever seen. I couldn't even see over him. It was ridiculous. But that's all.
What kind of story is
It's
that?
a bad story, but these are the things you remember when you're 8 years old. It's like I just remember the size of this guy's back, and this game took all day in England on a trip in 1988. So that's what I got for you. That's my cricket.
Wait, what's Eddie Graham?
I forget even where we were. I mean, it might have been somewhere up north in Durham, or I don't have any clue. Wow. I do have a cricket bat and ball in my parents' basement, but wow, that's that's what.
We're off the rails already.
Yeah, it's not that great. Well,
what a cricket story.
Yeah. No, it's. I have been.
But by the way, guys, real quick, if I could just say,
yeah, please.
We do on Still Against All Odds. Now that I'm hosting for the past 2 shows, we brought a new segment in: hockey or hoops. We give our best pick. We've done it twice now. We're 5-1, and I just want to throw in that the other night when the Caps played the Red Wings, I called it. I said 4-3 final.
Wow.
You're the best, Harry.
Stay in India, Solomon.
Yeah, that's right.
Harry's taking over.
Nice.
I got to say, I've been having some decent success on the Australian Open. It's not been good for my sleep because the game matches are on late, but been.
Did you have Joker?
I did not.
Like pre-match, right? Plus 850 or something like.
Yeah.
You know what, boys? When I saw him in that press conference, and someone asked him about chasing Sinner and Alcaraz, and he was pissed right then and there. Right? That's when we should have pounced on him.
Sure.
It was a
hindsight's 2020. I get that, but
it was a poorly worded question because you have to understand a guy like that's going to be sensitive to that. You have to say like,
but all those tennis guys are sensitive. They're fucking crying at every presser.
Say, but obviously you've won 24 majors, as many as anybody ever.
Yeah, you're a robot.
Yeah, but you began your career chasing Federer and Rafa, and now you're at the end. You've got these 2 other guys. Can you just talk about the differences, the contrast, and what that's like to be in that position again? It's how you ask. People got to think through their questions. It's just don't ask dumb questions. I know I'm listening to Andy Roddick's podcast, and he's making reporters sound stupid, and we are stupid sometimes. Don't ask dumb questions. I mean, just think it through before you're going to ask the question. I don't think.
I agree with Graham, but but even like what he just did to be getting crushed by Musetti. Musetti unfortunately gets the injury. No one gives him a chance here, and then wham, amazing to beat Sinner. Amazing.
I mean, that's what made it unbettable. I mean, it's an unbelievable thing to watch happen. But the way he was losing to Musetti, it looked like he was toast. He'd had 2 matches in the match before that. He had a guy who withdrew. It's like, oh, this guy's just done. And the way he managed that match was incredible. And I still think. I would be very surprised unless there's a cramping issue again with Alcaraz, if he's able to really push Alcaraz in the wee hours of Sunday morning. I think it's 3:30 a.m. Eastern time. But it's still you just don't want to bet against the man because he's that kind of champion. And he just did it.
Totally.
But yeah. Well, let's talk some Super Bowl and get into what we think of this game. Harry, you are all over Seattle here, right? You think like a lot. I can tell, but just a lot of your stuff is thinking the Seahawks are going to win this perhaps comfortably. Correct?
I do. I'm laying the points with Seattle. I'm laying adjusted numbers, and obviously I'm playing the over. When people are saying, is this the worst team to make a Super Bowl? That's New England because of the path they've had. I don't know if they're the worst, but the path has been. You can't deny it. The Chargers had no offensive line. Stroud couldn't have been worse. Just period, straight up. No Bo Nix. But it's not like they're lighting it up offensively either. They're not really. Their defense has been fantastic and forced turnovers, and they got a pick six against the Texans, and I understand that. But still, he's been sacked. Drake May's been sacked 15 times, guys, in 3 games. 15 sacks. He's had 6 fumbles. He's had 2 picks. Not lighting it up offensively. Meanwhile, Seattle just rolling 72 points in their 2 games. Destroyed San Francisco. Wasn't even a game. Darnold's throwing darts all over the place. I think it's back in the day, I think this is going to be one of those situations. I just don't, like New England, I know it's terrible weather, but 10 points against Denver really couldn't get anything going. I think this is going to be like a back in the day Super Bowl when Montana destroyed Elway. Something like, if that was 55-10, I'm going to say 47-17 Seattle.
Sort of like last year then. Wow. Okay.
So Sam Darnold.
I did have Philly in over last year too, so I'm going favorite and over again.
So Sam Darnold, MVP, Super Bowl MVP, we sprinkle on. I mean, the odds aren't great right now.
What? And you know what, Jay, by the way, how can, Bill Simmons, Dave Portnoy, they're Patriots fans.
Yeah.
And my hatred for Darnold, well, I'm over it. He proved me wrong. Those guys, they won the battle. They're going to lose the war in this game. Patriots get rolled.
Man, I have still been my favorite prop bet, by the way, and I've still been looking to find this, and now it makes me think this is a dumb, just a moot point at this. Is the neither team to score a touchdown? No touchdowns in the game.
That's right. It's that time of year.
It's that time of year.
I forgot.
And you can find like
you'd think they want you to find that.
Yeah, you find mine under 1.5 touchdowns at like plus 2,000, and that's still not a bad bet. But because that's just one score. But the one that for people who don't know, years ago. I saw a bet on a game. It was the year that it was the Patriots-Rams game where there was only one touchdown and it happened very late. And it was the book I found had it where if you put a $250 bet in, because I just was random, I didn't make this bet, I was just throwing numbers around. So it paid $77,000. And late in the fourth quarter, there's no touchdowns. And I started rooting for touchdowns because I wouldn't have been able to live with myself having not made that bet. So now it's the every year peace of mind bet. I want to bet no touchdowns, just so it's a giveaway. It's a donation to the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app, but it's a donation because it's peace of mind. And if it happens, I have to have money. It's like,
but you don't have to bet it every year. It was just peace of mind for that Super Bowl.
But think about it. It's like
now you're just panicky Pete like every time.
But if you play the Mega Millions or the Powerball with the same numbers every time, and you forget one week, and that week your number hits,
that's
like
true.
you wouldn't be able to live. You'd jump off a cliff.
Let's not forget, not too long ago. Sorry, guys, talking about Jared Goff. Was that Super Bowl against when he was with the Rams? What was it against the Patriots? What was it, 13-3?
Yeah,
close.
That's the one I think I was talking about, right? Is that the one? That's the one.
I think that's the one you were talking about.
Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. Yeah. That was so. Yeah, it has, and you get a Seattle defense. The reason it can happen, you're right. Seattle may blow them out of the water, but you get a defense like Seattle. You get somebody like Drake May who's turned the ball over a lot. You could see a scenario.
But you're rooting for ass. You're rooting for one of the worst Super Bowls of all time.
Right.
You are.
And I'm not putting $250 on it for real. I'm putting like $20, hoping to win like 1,000.
For New England last week,
Yeah. Yes. You're rooting for that game. You're rooting for snow in a dome is what you're
setting that $20 bill on fire. I like it.
All right, so let's go around here. Do you want to just go around and do a prop or two, or is that the best way to do it? Or
I got a 3-leg SGP ready to go.
All right, let's do it.
Wait to hear them.
All right,
let's go.
All right. I'll go first here. I'll go first. So I kind of like a couple different MVP props that seem like long shots, but in this game I don't hate them. One is plus 500 for a running back to win the MVP, and this is a game where Kenneth Walker seems like a possible MVP guy. Like he could have the sort of game that happens. It opens it up by doing plus 500 instead of just Walker. It opens up for something to happen with the Patriots. I like that a little bit. More than that, though, I like the kicker plus 8,500 to be the MVP. Can you not see a scenario for that much money where a guy kicks 5-6 field goals in a game without a lot of touchdowns?
God, you just want the worst Super Bowl of all time.
I do.
Couch is just there to watch Bad Bunny at halftime and then ass all around it.
Right.
Those are my
Jesus.
Those are my two MVP picks. I'll probably put a little on Kenneth Walker on himself. Too.
What a terrible card.
I don't even know what does Bad Bunny do? I don't even know I don't know what he does. I've never listened to any of his stuff ever. I don't even know what it is.
I thought you were a big Bunny guy. Really? No, you don't know who he is?
No, don't even know what it is.
No. Yeah. Well,
you sound like Trump.
What do you
got? For real, Graham, though, kicker, that's what we're doing here.
Well, I've got a bunch of
100 to 1.
I'm just starting there. You know, it's more than that. It's like 8,500 to 1.
But why would you take? So you think Ramondre Stevenson has a possibility to win MVP? Because I mean, you can get Walker at 600 plus 600. Because you said you're any running back to win MVP.
Correct. Like to me,
so you take less odds and then you get Ramondre Stevenson.
But the odds aren't that different, 500 to 600. That's why I'm saying.
I understand. I just don't see Ramondre. I mean, really, what would have to happen for Stevenson to get the MVP? But anyway, all right. My SGP, because I'm with Harry. I mean, the Seahawks minus 4.5. I'm going to add that as my first leg. Cooper Kupp over 32.5 receiving yards. And Rashid Shaheed, my guy, Rashid Shaheed. I want some money off him on that big kick return he had in the playoffs. Over 19.5 receiving yards. That's plus 525. A nice little 3-leg. You might be able to get a boost on whatever your apps. And yes, it would be fun. I mean, by the way, screw Simmons and Portnoy. Those Patriot fans are complete ass. I can't believe that they're back in the Super Bowl. They have a quarterback. It's so annoying because you can't even really shit on them because they're like, yeah, well, look at our Super Bowls. But anyway, I'm with Harry. I'm rooting for the Seahawks.
What do you got, Harry? What's your favorite?
Okay, let's start. I want to start with both pluses here. I'm going to go, speaking of Shaheed, I'm going to take Shaheed anytime touchdown at plus 360 for the game. But also, how about this one, Jay? 17 to 1, first touchdown of the game. Speedster, as we know, had the 95-yard kickoff return versus San Francisco in the divisional round that started the route in that game. He's had a 51-yard grab versus the Rams. Big play possibilities. Why not Shaheed? Maybe a kick return to start the game. Maybe a bomb. Plus 360 anytime TD. 17 to 1, first touchdown of the game.
Oh, I like it. I like it quite a bit. That is good. All right. I kind of like this one here. A fumble will be lost in the second half, plus 120. Jeez. The first half, you get better odds. Like it's like plus 170. But we've just seen so many of these games, the pressure, the stress, the blitzing, everything that happens late in the game. Like to me, the idea that just one team has to lose a fumble sometime in the second half, plus money. I like that. I think it's likely to happen. I think if you're getting plus money for that, I'm all in. So that's another one I really, really like, that would be. I
also like Kayshon Boutte, first touchdown. If we're going to just we're going to sprinkle, we have to sprinkle on a couple of these, right? Plus 1,800, 18 to 1 on your odds for Kayshon Boutte to score the first touchdown. I don't know. I like that guy.
What else you got, Harry?
How about this? How about Sam Darnold under 6.5 rushing yards for the game? Minus 120. Just running isn't part of his arsenal. In the divisional round versus San Francisco, he had 0 rushing attempts. He ran way more than he last year in Minnesota than he did this year in Seattle. His last 7 games, he's at a grand total of 6 rushing attempts. And his last 14 overall, he's gone under 6.5 yards 10 times. That's Darnold, under 6.5 yards rushing.
I like this one because you look at it, and I looked at it too, and you look at it and you go, it's 6.5 freaking yards. We ought to take that.
Right.
Like he's going to go over. There's going to be a moment in Super Bowl he's going to have to run it, and you do get weird things in Super Bowls, right? Quarterbacks are going to take risks. They might not take in another game. They're going to not slide or dive or whatever. So you do have to account for that. But it is true when you start to look at his season and the rushing numbers, you're like, well, this one actually should hit. And it's just one of those things where all it takes is like one scramble and you lose the prop bet. But I really think that.
Harry, do you know who Charlie Puth is? He's singing the national anthem. I got to say, I don't know who he is. I love betting on the national anthem, the over/under. Last year, the over/under hit John Batiste. Remember, he was a minute 59 cashing on the under because it was over/under was 2 minutes. You got to love betting on the the national anthem.
Here's one piece of advice I'd give for people is don't do pick 5 prop bets you really like.
Because Couch just gave you 9.
Yeah, because I've been there where you've got 20 prop bets and you realize
was there a fumble in the second half? Wait, what?
You
have to run down them. Yeah,
you just don't win money. You just don't win money. You at the end of it, you're like, how am I down $400? What the hell happened? These are all fun.
Any player coach to cry during the anthem. So Sirianni's not in it. So yes is minus 500. No plus 300. Man, they think somebody's going to cry.
All right, Kenneth Walker. Most rushing yards in the game. Now, this takes some stones because it's minus 200. But when you look at it, outside of an injury, is he not? You look at who Seattle is, how they play, who's going to be featured. Is there any way Kenneth Walker is not the leading rusher in this game outside of an injury?
He's got I don't see how it could. Right, I agree with you. He's been incredible in the playoffs. Complete workhorse. He looks healthy as hell. He's breaking tackles all over the place. I think he has 45 carries in these 2 games, so he's touching the ball a ton.
Yeah. No, it's to me, anything you can get on Kenneth Walker here because of their limitations and the injury to Charbonnet at running back. To me, it's
right.
And sometimes, look, the idea is to win the bet. Minus 200 is a little uncomfortable, and maybe you can parlay it with something else. But I just think it's a pretty good. A pretty good bet. I also like over 49.5 longest field goal. In this day and age, we're looking at good weather situations. Obviously, it's these guys are kicking from 50 all the time, and I looked
at the wind scenario.
Not looked at the wind scenario.
All right,
it's a week out.
Just wondering.
It's a week out.
Harry, says the guy talking props about kicking field goals. Yeah.
Do you have Harry?
Going under.
You like Craig Woodson and you like Barner over receptions too, correct?
Yeah, let me go with. I'll start with Woodson from Pats safety. I got 6 or more tackles, assists combined. Leads the Pats with 20 in tackles in the playoffs. 4 ahead of Christian Ellis, and he leads the secondary for the Pats in the regular season. Led them in the regular season with 79, and secondary 4th overall on the team. So I'm going to go 6 or more with him. And I'm going to also go A.J. Barner over 2.5 receptions, guys. You got to lay a little bit of a price here too, Graham, at minus 160. But he's the perfect receiver on this team to go underneath early to wipe out a little bit of the butterflies, safe 5 to 7 yard plays, keep the drive alive. Maybe catch one right before halftime if you get the ball, get in position for that field goal that you want, Graham, and then maybe something in the second half. I love Barner over 2.5 receptions, minus 160. I love 4 or more, too, at plus 165.
Any more field goal bets, Graham?
Sorry, I just like field goal bets. It just seems so easy, and it never works out.
I'm going to bet 9 field goals.
Graham, you don't have missed extra point bets anywhere?
I don't. I should have a mixed extra point.
See, that would make it exciting, though. Yeah. Missed field goal bet?
Yeah. That would be extra point. Bad, right?
Yeah, no, I do like that. Yeah, no, I'm pretty much rooting for an ass game based on all my picks. Field goals and no touchdowns, and it's not great. What do you like about Barner over 2.5 receptions?
Well, like I said, again.
Oh, did I
just said that?
Oh, sorry. Yep, sorry.
Sorry, Harry.
We'll fix that in post.
We got to plug him back in. So
yeah. Sorry, I was just
fucking
it's
Couch.
Saturday, man. Saturday, guys.
No, I got distracted.
Poor Harry. You hear that silence? He's like, I don't know even how to save him with this. Poor Harry, dude.
Oh, my wife.
Why did you do that to him?
My wife was calling just as that happened, and my brain went on the fritz. I was just reading a sheet that you tell me. I was like, wait, we just sorry.
Harry, can you do the AJ Barner thing again? My wife is calling. I mean, what the fuck?
I'm sorry.
First of all, your wife knows we're doing the podcast.
You would think.
You think?
I don't know what's going on.
Come on, Elizabeth. What the fuck?
Yeah, what's going on?
Right.
I'm with you on the. I'm with you a little bit on the Seahawks too. I think I always
why you like the Seahawks, Harry.
I do want to tease this down a little. If I can get like Seahawks plus 3.5 and the over, the under. I mean,
and 4 field goals. What does that pay?
But I'm a little nervous of what Harry said about this being a blowout and points. And then the problem with the under is even if you get a blowout where their defense is dominant, if you get a blowout, sometimes there's a late score. The other way. The game changes the context.
Couch just thinks of every scenario possible.
I'm a little nervous about it. Yeah,
can't wait.
No, Harry, you are a beautiful man. Where will you be for the Super Bowl? What are your plans?
You know what? I was up in the air about going to Vegas. Didn't go. I had some tickets to like a party at Caesars, but I'm not going to go. I'm going to stay here. We got friends throwing a party here, so just going to chill in Scottsdale area.
You still like Vegas? You still like going to Vegas, Harry?
Nah, I really don't. Nah, not really.
Right?
It seems like more of a waste of time to do that whole thing than I just watch here.
Yeah. Then you have to pay $200 to watch a game at a place and spend $40 on a gin and tonic, double gin and tonic or something. And then every time you smoke a joint on the streets, even though it's legal there, people look at you like you're a crazy person. So I don't know. I've always loved Vegas, but as of right now, I just don't know. The last time we were there for March Madness, sitting there at Jimmy Kimmel's bar, it was like, it was fun down where you guys were, but then you go out, it's like everything has to be a $50 bill, and it's just ridiculous.
No doubt about it. Absolutely.
No, I'll be honest. The Super Bowl at home is underrated. It's really underrated.
Anything is at home's underrated.
It really,
I got 3 TVs going. I got all the weed I need. My cat sitting there. I mean, it's the greatest fucking day ever. Treese is bringing food in continuously.
Very nice. And Jay, of course, because I have to hear it now. I got to hear the audio because my man Tarico's doing the game this year.
Oh, that's true. That's your guy.
Yeah. No, it's
love Tarico, the best.
Well, Harry, your advice gives us some credibility, and we appreciate that. It's just beautiful to hear your voice, and hopefully we can talk again real soon.
Always, guys. Take care.
Thanks, man.
Have fun.
It's a great Harry Gagnon, even when I'm asked for a pick.
Silence.
Twice.
I was like, didn't you just? He just
went the worst.
He just dropped 4 minutes on AJ Barner and how he's going to score the juice being minus 160 on it. And
it's my fault. Like I have
tell us why you like AJ Barner.
He sent me all the picks, and I have them written down, and I had them all. And as he was giving them, I was crossing them out, right? Uh-huh. And then when he gave that one, he didn't cross it out because my wife, the phone was, my wife's talking about buying a comfy recliner somewhere, and she's texting me all these things right now. I'm just trying to I don't know what's going on.
What does she think you're doing right now?
She knows I'm doing the show, but I think
she knows you're doing
done.
the show and is
texting
you about a recliner. I mean, we should be done. We need to be done. Let's get out of here.
We need to be done. So anyway, but that's by the way, you can get most of those props on the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. A great time to download that. Some good sign up bonuses
tell us
as
about
well.
Why you like AJ Barner.
Another good moment.
Poor Harry, because you could just tell, because those guys end up having to do that. They do a lot of radio interviews. That's why when you ever have a gambling person on, you have to go, talk to them. They want to know what you want to bring up. So if you ever bring up something outside of that,
I feel like
you get
shit.
that kind of stuff.
I feel like shit right now. I mean,
Harry so was trying to figure out a way. He snapped his brain on this Saturday.
I don't even. I feel like Harry thinks I wasn't listening to him, and in fact, it was a clerical error.
It.
Yeah, it was a clerical error. It's not that, Harry. It's
your wife.
It's my
look
wife.
At my wife's calling right now. What is this shit?
There we go. Well, we appreciate all of you listening. As always, we'll be back Monday with your hot takes.
Still doing the show. Why are you calling me?
Fuck,
I'm almost done. Sorry.
We appreciate Firekeepers and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. You can also go to Dacey's Taproom and Sportsbook on I-94 in Battle Creek at the Firekeepers Casino. Very cool in-house experience. A cool way to experience the Super Bowl. Or Front 43 and Cask and Company. Looking for a bar experience, looking to be around other people, looking for a great meal and great drinks. Front 43 and Cask and Company. Great place to watch the Super Bowl. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
We'll see you Monday. Couch in the Roof.